Hello? That was a fun race. I got a 1 second penalty and I didn't think we'd be able to get past anyone. It's normally how these races kinda go. But it was fun, a really good overtake. Yeah, no stream yesterday. I went and was fixing stuff with my rig. Just some of the wheels were becoming a little bit bent. I had to go and straighten them out because I think it was gonna create problems where just it wouldn't be quite stable. Sitting down, you might start rocking a bit. Well, it's probably just from dragging too much, even though they have wheels, so you're probably not supposed to drag it, and sometimes you get a little bit bent if you're not managing it or using it right. And I had to spend more time making my porridge because I think it nearly blew up yesterday. Yeah, all the wheels are fine. It just the two back wheels got like bent, so the screws were like, I think they got like slightly bent because I think my brother was in here and he was like moving stuff because he wanted to, let's say, get access to the TV, and I think he must have just dragged it sideways and bent the rear ones. So I just put a new one on because I had a spare one, and then I just managed to straighten the other one. So it's just the screw got a little bit bent, and it's just when it connects to the wheel. It's all good now. There's no rocking or anything. I just saw it like yesterday morning, and it was like that's not supposed to be like that. So I went in and just fixed it. Yeah, I have wheels, rolling wheels, so I can like push this around the house if I wanted to, or bring it to a different room. But that's the problem, because you're not really supposed to drag this, and you know, sometimes when people go and moving things, or like even if you're moving it yourself, sometimes you might be a bit lazy and just not actually take the safeties off. So if you want to move it, you definitely should have them free rolling and lock them again when you want to keep it there. Yeah, no, so oh hey Jason, how are you, man? So about the porridge, yeah, I have like fucking non-dairy milk and stuff because I don't know, I have like sinus issues sometimes, so if I have too much dairy, like especially cheese, all my like nasal passages will get like kind of blocked. So I love dairy, but like I just try to limit it a bit sometimes. So the non-dairy, the soya milk, it just doesn't mix with porridge, or it's just not a good mixer. So I have to just use normal milk today. I don't really mind, but it just sits kind of like on the top. It doesn't mix, and then like all the vegan, not vegan, the non-dairy soya milk just kind of came out on the top because it just wasn't mixing. It was just bubbling on the top, really. Like. Okay, you got like solid point to the ground. They're probably more practical, I'd say. Like I'd say these ones have more chance of breaking just because it's quite easy to use them in the way they're not supposed to be used. Plus they're slightly longer because I think I have other ones that if you just want to sit on the ground you can use them. Like I got the wheels as an extra, and the wheels are just a bit longer, or like the whole screw that connects the wheels are a bit longer, so they're just easier to bend as well. So yeah, definitely I'll have to tell I actually didn't even tell my brother. I'm gonna have to tell him, but he shouldn't be in here anymore because, well, not too often, because he has a PC. That's what he's been doing the last few days, just setting up his PC like. Yeah, soya milk and porridge, man, don't try that. Or if you're gonna use it, just use it after you use the microwave. Yeah, I saw Win streaming the last 2 days, I think. It's good to see him back. I know like he's always busy with like college work and stuff, so like, you know, that comes first. It's kind of like the same when I was in school, like no racing on weekdays, which was fine, I guess. So it's not too bad. This McLaren is like so good on this track because it just so many power zones, but like it's so stable on the past the white line. So the white line, if you go over it, it gives you like dirty tires and like your outside tires, and a lot of cars that get like a lot of oversteer struggle because you have to really like be careful on the throttle. Where the McLaren you can still like pretty much floor, and the little oversteer you get actually makes it better. It like just it's the bit of oversteer that you actually need for this car. Like the other cars would already have enough oversteer when you need it. Let's look at the board. So the 4C seems to be dominating this week, but I know I can get this down. Like I can get this down to like at least a 0 or else a 0.9. But it'd be tough because I think just the 4C Alfa Romeo is just better. But this car is good in a lot of corners, especially the straights, like you saw in the race where I got the overtake. Thanks. A friend at work actually made it for me. That was actually really good. It's like one of those like AI generated things where like you give him a load of details and then you can, if you don't like it, then you can change it, and it's really sound like. So yeah, some really nice people at work. Until you don't want them to be nice, but yeah, that's funny. No, I use your thumbnail, man, but it just didn't work. I tried to put it in, and then I think when it worked for one of them, and then the next one it didn't work, and I just couldn't be arsed. I'll have to do it again though, because it's, oh man, I'm not amazing at these things, so I'm gonna have to sort it out. Like I have the YouTube Studio thing, and I'll get it sorted soon. I think the one you made me was for GTWS, so I'm definitely gonna have to try some things and just like up the quality of the channel. So if I can make a thumbnail, then I'll definitely try to use it again. I don't know what happened the first time. I put it in and it just didn't seem to work when I started the video. I think it worked for one, but then I put it in again and it didn't work the second time. I'm not too sure. Yeah, a new one for daily races would be pretty good. That would be a lot of help. See, my brother's a PC now and he does like kind of like editing stuff on it, so as well, like if I wanted to, I could go in and just like do some of my own stuff as well, because since it wouldn't really be taking up too much space, as the software's already there anyway. So you get like your own like tools and like USB and stuff. You can just like take what you want, what you need, move it. Like. So this race is a bit more let's say skill friendly, where the track is quite difficult to be fast on, so there's only a few places where the slipstream really affects. Oh. Okay. Hama's racing behind. RTR driver, he's actually fast. I think I've raced against him a few times. So yeah, like these white lines going past him, there's just not any grip. So some cars you just struggle like. Oh, well, that's probably a pen. I think it's a penalty. Not this time. Every time you go over that line in the time trial, it must be earlier on, you get a penalty. So, it's lucky. That section of corners is so difficult as well because the white lines protrude so far into the middle of the track that if you go too narrow or too tight you'll get a penalty, and the first chicane is half second and the second one is 1 second, so it is really harsh. Losing the pack behind now. All we have to do really is just keep it clean. Not too tight. It's like a breath of fresh air using this car because it's probably the most needed car to be practicing in. For me anyways. Since I've driven this car so many times, it's like so natural as well. It's like you just know what you're doing all the time. It's always interesting because like a lot of people I see drive this car, well they drive it less because they don't really tend to like the car too much, but they don't seem to be that good in it, most people who drive it. That's why it's like never on the leaderboards, even when it's okay. Okay, big gap now, so there must have been a few mistakes behind. That was too narrow. Okay, we're not doing too well this race. I have a feeling it's just because there has nothing in front or behind us at the moment. Nice. Maybe a little bit narrow, but that's fine. The amount of fighting behind must be horrific. There's so many different changes in the leading pack for a second. a lot of tight corners here, so your thumbs do get a little bit tired. Do be gripping that steering wheel tight. Just pinching it with your thumbs almost as well. Better exit. Add series of corners, not too good. That corner is difficult because you're trying to not get too much oversteer there. Okay, try to be too clever there. It's going to be Sneaky Jazz in second. Lots of changes to that board. So we had a Croatian behind it as well. Lost so much time. Yeah, that was a terrible last corner. So that's the one thing you do that is really annoying in that corner. So you have to keep it as like straight as possible, because if you turn too much, you'll just spin or slide. And if you go too straight, then you'll probably go into the wall like I did. You just need to make sure you stop, just so you don't get spun out. No, I used it on like 2 or 3. I think maybe the first 2 might have worked, as the first one, but one of them definitely didn't work, and that actually bothered me, because I actually was just looking for it, and I had it on, and I was just making sure when I went to the video or I started streaming it would work, and it didn't work, and I was like, this stupid PlayStation, because a lot of the time when I'm starting streams on this, it doesn't actually start properly, so I ended up actually just stopping it and restarting it, so that could be why as well. But yeah, I might have to start streaming for the PC soon. I think someone at the start of the race was commenting on my DR, and I completely airballed them because I just got distracted talking. So let's just thank everyone else. No, that's maybe a bit toxic. Take that one out. Hello, Nay. How are you today, man? That first race was a bit better. It's more entertaining. There's a little bit more skill in it. See, Daily C looks like a good race, but I just don't want to do Group 4 because I feel like, regardless of what the race is in C, I would just prefer just to practice in any Group 3 car. Because I feel like Group 4 drives quite a bit different. Even the McLaren would say it's very understeery, but this is even more understeery again, and it's just not that fast. But yeah, so it's a variable weather, so I think some races it rains and some it doesn't, so if you have to pit, there's 2 laps you gotta pit after the first one, or at the end of the first one. And sometimes it's like really wet, and then sometimes it's just like kinda wet, or then sometimes it's just not wet at all, so it seemed like a good race. At the start of the week I was thinking it would be a bad race because I wasn't sure if it would be dynamic weather. Turns out it is, so that makes it a good race because there's strategy involved. This, however, has no strategy, but that's okay because at least we get to practice in the McLaren, which makes it better. Yeah, no, I'm just finding it hard to get up in general, man, because like you get up after having a long sleep and then you're just like on your floor, just like trying to get back to bed, but you can't because you have to get up and stream. It's just funny, like just with the alarm, man, because I have my phone on the floor, because if I had it on my like nightstand, I'd just like unconsciously just press off on it, wouldn't even know it went off. Anything under 8 hours seems to not work for me. It's too tiring. I have to push the bedtime back to like 9:30 so it makes it easier to get up. Because at least then if you want to have like a small lie-in, you can. Like you can't really have a small lie-in if you're waking up at like 6. Or if you're getting up at 6, like, it just becomes more difficult. So you were going to play 9 holes, I assume that's golf, and before work you cancelled booking when the alarm went off. See, that's the thing, I feel like as soon as you start doing things after you wake up, then obviously the energy starts kicking in, you don't feel as tired. So I feel like by the time you'd finish cancelling, you end up just like, I feel like now I just don't need to cancel it because I'm actually just up. So that's happened sometimes, like. Sometimes if you can, like the best thing to avoid like going back to sleep or trying to sleep in is just to go downstairs or even just go into a different room, like even like just straight away, like, because if you're just seeing that bed, like you're just gonna go back into it. Plus it's not like work, so obviously I can not come down and stream every morning and nothing will be really said about it, but bar me explaining why I haven't been streaming. But like for work, like you have to turn up, so like that's the only reason why it's so easy to be on time for work. For a lot of stuff like practice, like there's no one there telling you that you have to come down and practice, like it's your own decision. So like when it's always down to you, I feel like it's always going to be a way more difficult task. Barry, how are you this morning, man? 6 people in the chat. It's always great to have people in the chat viewing the videos. I don't know what everyone thinks of this track, but like I think I preferred this how it used to be back in like Gran Turismo 4 and the old ones. I just feel like they just made everything a bit tighter and it's a bit like more difficult. I preferred the whole like more the greenery aspect to the other one. And I felt like the track was just like nicer, it was wider, it was safer, but it was fun at the same time. It feels so weird because it doesn't feel like to me the same track at all, like even the way you drive it. But I guess that's like why visuals are so important as well. Like. Racing's good, Barry. So we've done 2 races already on Daily B. We won both of them. We got lucky in the first one. We got a 1 second penalty, and we managed to get 2 drivers for the price of 1 on the start finish straight. So we went from 3rd to 1st in 1 corner, and that's just the advantage with the McLaren because it has pretty decent speed. That's why it's good here. Like, so it's kind of like a medium. So it's not too good on all the corners, but because it's not bad at any of them, it just makes it pretty decent here. Like having a more stiff car, like a more understeer car works here because like the corners are really tight anyways, so and the dirty, you get dirty tires, or like you get less grip in a lot of parts of the track if you go over the white line, so the McLaren actually kind of needs that, so you can actually use that more because you get the oversteer that you need. Where if you're driving like, let's say the RCZ or like the Lamborghini Huracan, you don't really want to go over that white line because you have enough oversteer as it is, and you have enough acceleration that can create oversteer. So McLaren doesn't really have the acceleration, so for a lot of those corners I'd be taking the tighter line. Yeah, there was a period of time where I didn't like this track either because the track limits is really bad. Like the final chicane is notorious for giving out half-second and 1 second penalties. So half-second for the first turn in the chicane, and then like 1 second for cutting the second corner. And like the white line is so far out that it's literally in the middle of the chicane, so you can't go over the white line or else you get a penalty. Even if you're like on the white line, as you feel like you're on the white line, you still will get a penalty, so you have to kind of play it safe. It's kind of like Le Mans with see, they have like a load of white lines, they go by like kind of the white lines as well on that track, so especially in some of the chicanes there, if you just go past the curb, even though it feels like common sense that it shouldn't be a penalty, you get a penalty if you're just going wide. Nice. Let's see if Bahamas can stick with us this time. You can only be getting faster anyways. So it's not the worst opening lap. Some corners just need a bit of tweaking. First gear, nice. So if anyone's struggling with this track, you're struggling with the corners, you're struggling to not crash. This mightn't be the worst car because, especially where you get a lot of less grip, like from dirty tyres, like this car seems to deal with it better than most because it's under steer. Okay, that was too wide, but we managed to get a decent exit. If we're going to do anything bad, at least for the second half of the corner, make sure to get it right. That corner is debatable. You can kind of go slightly wider than that, or you can just take the inside like I did. Depends on your car because the inside is a bit less grippy, so it is kind of your preference. If you can hold it, it might be faster, but the outside kind of gives you a more straight line on the exit. This track has a lot of trail braking though, so you have to be really precise with all your inputs. That's why I'm making a few mistakes. Very minor ones, but all add up. So that's what I was talking about earlier. If you turn too much, you get the wrong angle, you have to turn on the final corner, you will slide a bit. That's going to lose your time. So that corner, like always, just trying to play it safe, where definitely don't try to cut it or be too ambitious. No heroics around this track in case you mess up. A little bit wide, but not the worst exit. You will have more grip there, so really depends. Like. Oh, really caught on the oversteer, but I did create a little bit of an angle to make it easier on the exit there. That was like way too narrow. We need to kind of open the door a little bit so we can enter at a higher speed. That's about the limit. Like I won't go or try go any tighter to the line than that on the entrance to that first corner. Because you're just running the risk of getting a penalty, and there's no point going for like all-out time trial type laps all the time. Time trial is really difficult here because that final corner is pretty much the whole lap. Little lift, unfortunately, just don't want to hit that barrier. I slowed it down too much in that hairpin. Oh no, that was too deep. Little lift there as well. Definitely no easy car here, but this car is a bit easier than others. You're just running the risk of that. If you just don't quite get the line right, you will get a bit of oversteer. Ooh. See, that's like the perfect amount of oversteer on that corner. Like, don't want any more than that. Get a nice fast exit. As you can see from the driver behind that, we're gaining just a little bit from that. Don't think there'll be any like amazing fast lap, but still not the worst. Try a narrower line, maybe the best one yet. Not too bad. Looks like the best lap so far. Just really controlled. It's really impressive grip management there. That's, as we say, 3 tenths up. And that's exactly how you do a lap in Grand Valley Highway in the race. I was going to say Speedway, but I think it's at the old track, so I was like, yep, we're going to mess this up. But anyways, it's a nice lap, so we'll see where that puts us on the board, hopefully into 48. Yeah, 48.7, that's pretty good. Good enough for me anyways for the third race, I'll take that. Hey Ian, how are you, man? What is my qualifying time? Because I just did a 48.7, so I think my qualifying is a 48.3. So that's like a half a second difference. So that's pretty good for the race spec. Let's just go and thank Bahamas for that. Oh, nope. Obviously, just trying to be nice here. I hope no one thinks that I'm just saying people are bad or thinking that it's an egotistical comment to make, but every time I chat, like, I mean that like genuinely, so I mean, yeah, thanks for being in the race. Because it is always just important that you have people in the race, because like if there was no one, then there'd be no DR to make. So, and our DR seems to never improve just because there's just still not enough people, or with people with enough DR to gain me enough DR. So it's still pretty mid. Slow down. We're gonna hit him with a no because that's not what we do here in the channel. Oh, and he's left. So okay, that's fine. 9:11.485, because that's not too bad of a finishing time. I don't know if I'll be able to get better than that because didn't really do anything wrong in any of those laps, just a few adjustments. This will help me with adjustments on my time trial as well, so I'll be able to improve. Cause even when you're racing though, you just learn stuff as well about the lines being consistent. Sometimes just starting off with racing first just can be better than just going straight into time trial. So you just know more about the car and the track. The only thing time trial changes is just the speed you do the laps, since you've like no fuel in the time trial lap, so very fast. So like I am learning little bits of things here, just to see what my car does and doesn't do. Like I'd say third gear is probably the way to go over like the sand. There's like that small right hand corner. Third gear kind of stabilizes it a bit. Because like I used to go over, I did my lap in second, and that kind of unsettles the car a bit, as well as you rev it out too much as well. You just rev it out for the next right hander in the middle sector. Thanks, Ian. Just trying to do whatever we can do. Oh, wind got a time. Nice. Maybe that was there before, I just didn't notice who got the time. This is our Monday 9 AM time, so we definitely have something to gain. 9 AM is always notoriously known for just doing bad times, so we got first place at around 9, and then it held for like basically a whole day, which was surprising because normally that could be beaten in about an hour. So it's not a good time either. There's definitely like a few tenths there to be gained, but this is just one of those tracks where you have to be really consistent, because it's just consistency is the key here, because you just make too many mistakes too early. You could go a whole day just with making mistakes on this. Way too much sand, and there's way too many critical points that you have to hit on this lap. Just dipping your tires into the right grooves, you know, that's always really important. So let's see, still number 1 McLaren. The next McLaren is over a tenth down. No one seems to like the McLaren. It seems like everyone seems to drop off in pace. Got Paul Ura here. Paul Ura. He's a really good driver. Just testing out the McLaren, see how it goes. It is a very different car to drive as well, I will say that, because all the cars are just very oversteery. This car is just kind of the opposite. It just turns very minimally, so you kind of have to crank the steering wheel a bit more, as well as the acceleration helps it be understeer because it's poor on that. Viper P4, I would say that's a surprise. What I would say about the Viper though is it is very fast on a straight, and although it is really bad understeer, like it's kind of like the McLaren, but like maybe even a level above. It just doesn't turn very well. It does seem to be good on hard tires, and it does get a lot of oversteer. Maybe it's the oversteer you can kind of use to help you on this lap. It is Damien, and Damien is a very good driver, as we saw like a few streams ago. So no surprise that Damien's got a time up there in that car. Definitely not terrible, but I don't know where the RCZs are, because everyone was saying, I think earlier, that the RCZ should be very good in this. Maybe just people haven't tried it and people are just waiting, but yeah. I've seen a few in the race already, so shouldn't be any problems with its performance anyways. So this is going to be our last race because, as I normally say, the 9 AM cutoff is coming up soon. Or I guess at 9 AM that's when we kind of stop the stream. Because I have a job as well as doing this, so can't be late for the job. Let's see if there's any other DTR friends. It's my team. Got cats. It's decent enough time. Decent enough time since the track is difficult enough. If you haven't checked out DTR already, you should check out the DTR YouTube channel. It's Dream Team Racing, that's the team I race for. We do all different types of races and I enjoy doing the races, so if anyone wants to check it out or potentially join the Discord, the team, you can. Day means your usual go-to roast time. That's a lot. That makes a lot of sense because Damien is always fast. Normally my go-to ghost time is whoever's in first, or whoever has the, let's say, the fastest time to use, or that's displayed a ghost. It's got Brandinho Junior 11. Okay. I was under the impression for a minute that he's like half a tenth off, but it's actually like a second and half tenth, so that's okay. Leo Felix. Not bad. Let's try hitting with a thank you if we can. Thank you, Richie. I will try my best. Because you can be fast here, but you can also be dumb here, so if you just start getting penalties, you can easily lose. Trying to think, we must be on a at least a 6 race win streak. No races lost today. I think none in the last race stream we did either. I think we did 4 in the last one. It's always a nice streak just to keep winning races. So we need to keep this DR up, our driver's rating. As soon as you lose a race, since you would have higher DR than anyone else normally, you would tank pretty hard on the DR compared to if you just won. You get very little DR, the lobbies are lower. But you would lose a lot because the lobbies are lower if you lost. That one was potentially a bit narrow. You got around it. Too bad. Not too good earlier, just revved it out. Fraction of a second too late. He's maintaining a small gap, which is good for him. Not good for us though, we need to win. Not too bad, plenty of response from the steering wheel this time, using a bit of oversteer. to help us. And there goes the gap, so about he's lost double, or basically lost the equivalent of what he had before. So we've doubled the gap. So easy to do though, any corner that's difficult, just not taking it optimally or even getting a penalty, lose so much time. I've been there for many years just driving bad, or just worse than the other persons around me. Get punished every time. So anyway, the next time trial attempt should be pretty successful because we're definitely learning quite a lot here. Keep it in second there, just to keep, I guess, the speed. If you go down a gear, sometimes you lose some speed. Then when you get back up to, like, let's say second, accelerating at a lower speed will create more oversteer. Most of the time it's all about maintaining your speed. Then again, it all depends on which car you're driving, because sometimes you would want the oversteer, so sometimes it's better to slow it down a bit too much. Just create the angle that you need. Depends on the track as well. Depends on pretty much everything, so your tires will determine grip as well, so I take slightly different lines with different settings, I guess. That one was a little bit narrow. See, if you don't get the right angle, you'll just graze the wall. So easy to do though, it's one of the most common things you'll see anyone do in time trial. Oh, and there it is again. Just a little bit wide there. You just saw before I hit the wall as well. Just getting over that white line just creates a little bit of oversteer because the less grip you have. And then you gotta correct it, and then it turns into a bit of oversteer because you can't continuously turn the car, so you need to almost take a break and reset midway through the corner. Had to left there. Can't be hitting every wall. So 5 second gap. Healthy gap for the moment. Just get on to that. So you got plenty of oversteer there. Probably too much, got
too much value in that. So you're racing in your lines, it's very similar to like any pool, let's say, a snooker game, where all you're really doing with each attempt is really just a setup for the next ball almost. So you do a corner almost like you're setting up your next shot on a pool table. So you don't really enter a corner whatever way you want. You gotta make sure that you're always set up for the next corner. So you gotta know your stuff anyways. Okay, last lap, let's see if we can get a par time. So we can get a decent time. Late on the brakes. It's a respectable line and exit. Maybe not the best exit there, but now, but it's great. Plenty of understeer there, that's brilliant. Nice there. Ooh, that's close. That might be a pen. Of course it's not. We got away with that. Exactly what we wanted. See, that's the limits really there. You can't really do any better than that on the lines wise. Maybe the acceleration could be a bit better, but working the lines, that's pretty much it. So that's another 0.7. So, and that's a similar time to the last race, and fastest lap on the same lap I think as well. So maybe it's the lap as well, because sometimes just getting the tires to temperature kind of helps. It really depends on what you're doing or what race or what car as well. It would probably help for, let's say, your oversteer cars because you need understeer really, because you already have enough oversteer. And a 9-second healthy lead after 5 laps. I mean, you can do much better than that at the moment. Hey Flash, how are you, man? Alright, let's save the replay. Just thank everyone. I don't know how many other people I thanked, but we're going to thank more people. Okay, let me just see if I have the replay. I'm pretty sure I saved it. Uh-oh, let's check. I mightn't have saved it because I was too busy talking. Yay! Okay, we got it. Let's go. Hey guys, that's the stream. We're going to end it here because I'm going to be late for work. Because, you know, like I'm pushing the limits on the track, you got to push it off the track as well, so make sure everything fits optimally. So we're going to leave it there. Thanks everyone for coming in. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, bye.